Hello and welcome to Last Time On. This is the podcast for people who want to watch all of this prestige television, but I mean, fuck, there's so much. Who has time for it?
Apparently Xhafer does with how much he's luxuriating, but I don't.
Look,
Welcome
I'm going to take...
to ASMR LTO.
I will take as long as I damn well please on the introductions until one of you volunteers to say the first line.
I didn't
Which,
know we
for the record,
we had that option.
has
Xhafer.
never happened.
I wasn't aware
you
that
like
we could
doing
do that.
it.
You do like
No,
doing
I
it.
don't, Ben.
Oh, I think you
I
do.
don't. You've lied to yourself.
you look like you like
and
it.
told yourself
Xhafer.
that because of our years of Draft the Universe,
he's so angry.
where I was the only one who could remember the
He's raging.
intro.
I knew the intro.
Raging podcast, man.
I did it on several situations.
Yeah? How'd it go, Ben?
Hello, Internet, and welcome to Draft the Universe, the Nerd Fight Battle Royale. This is the podcast where we pick a topic, pick our favorites, and then fight to the death, or maybe just for bragging rights. I'm Xhafer.
You even said my name.
Yeah, I know it.
No, further demonstrating that I'm the one who did it all. You said my name.
I know.
As you were just rambling.
I
So,
randomly say Xhafer's name, too.
Only in bed.
This is officially the longest we've taken to get into the introductions. I'm Xhafer.
We're not keeping any of this.
Oh, come on. This is brilliant.
Are you editing this episode? Because if you're not, then that's not your decision.
I'm probably going to do it.
I'm Ben.
I'm Victor.
And we're here today to talk about our penultimate episode of Shameless, Season 11, Episode 10, DNR. This is, of course, the penultimate episode of Shameless.
The Teller Ultimate, if you will.
Oh, right, yes.
You guys just want to get into this one?
Let's just dive in balls first.
Let's just dive in. All right. We open on Carl, who's a cop now.
Yeah. I'm surprised that happened. I thought for sure Carl was about to enter the garbage man track. And I'm just like, that actually feels like a real good fit for Carl. Like, one, a completely like stable, normal, repeatable job, but also like, hey, look at the cool stuff I found in the trash. I'm Carl. I'm kind of a little goblin. And I'm like, are you threatening me? This really fits for Carl.
Little Goblin Carl.
Alas,
He is.
it was not meant to be.
Yeah.
Carl is a cop now. And then we immediately skip over him suppressing some presumably peaceful protesters, given how this show handles the police in every regard.
Oh, my God. The cops in this episode. It was painful to watch. But we will
Yeah.
get to that before we because, of course, we first have to get through all the other things that were painful to watch in this episode.
So we open on a news report that the rather famous painting Nighthawk has been stolen.
Well, before we get to that, you guys mentioned the other day that there was a new intro. It's not
There
new.
is. It is new.
It's like
it's
a
the same.
third
It's
new.
Yeah.
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 All I said is that they replaced stuff.
Yeah, but they didn't replace everything.
they replaced-
and it's weird.
No.
Because it's like, here's Deb now, older than Ian was then. And I'm just like watching this and I'm like, this is really freaking Mabine. But
I thought it was really cute the way Liam is the one wrapping up Franny in the toilet paper, and previously it was Debbie wrapping up Liam in the toilet paper.
Yeah.
And now we got little Franny brushing her teeth in a toilet. I thought it was kind of sweet. So.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and of course the one thing that remained constant was Ian jerking off the entire time.
I wonder what that does for your career. I don't want to find out, but morbid curiosity.
Well, what's that actor's
Anyways.
name from American Pie?
Jason Biggs,
Yeah,
the pie fucker.
his entire career is revolved around jerking it. Like seriously, in like Orange is the New Black, the first episode had a whole subplot of him learning how to edge himself. It's like, Jesus, dude, like that's on your fucking resume. You're the jerk off guy.
you take your weed whip, put it on the side, and you go right along the sidewalk. Edging's not hard.
Edging's not hard.
Edgings, not hard. Anyways, we cut up to Nighthawk sitting above the mantelpiece.
Uh-oh.
I have a question for y'all.
Oh God.
Not
Oh, no.
not one of our questions,
Okay,
not one of
good.
the podcast questions. But do you think we saw this last episode, or do we think this just happened?
I want to
50-50.
I believe that the last episode ended with Frank in the Museum of Art noticing nobody's around and looking up at the painting. We never see how he steals it. It just now is suddenly in the Gallagher home.
There's no heist episode.
Yeah.
You know that the name of that episode would have been like Gallagher's 11 or something, right? Like if it had, like when we were scrolling past, we would have seen that, but on our way to this episode. Vic, your thoughts? Do you think we witnessed this?
I'm not sure because they did hint to one of Frank's friends being a security guard, I think, or something is like someone planned this. I don't know. I think it was hinted at, but we definitely didn't actually see it go down. And I was curious because I remember hearing somewhere, I don't know if this is true or not, or one of those urban myths.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing somewhere that the pieces you actually see on display at art museums aren't the actual paintings, that those are locked away in a vault somewhere, and when what you see is just a replica. I don't know. I remember hearing that somewhere. I don't know if it's true or not.
I know that's true for some important documents. Like there are like some replicas of the Constitution, and the real Constitution or the real Magna Carta or the real Declaration of Independence is only brought out on certain occasions.
When Nicolas Cage is in town. Yeah.
No, when he's not in town. That's very important.
Yeah, no Nick.
The real ones are in his basement, we all know. So anyway, Deb is upset that Lip is selling the house.
Yeah, we learned two very important things here. The first being the aforementioned Lip is selling the house. The second being the dinosaur bone heist from our Let's Get Weird With It earlier in the season actually fucking happened.
I can't believe it.
I was very...
My mind!
Thank you. I thought I had gone through like a fucking Mandela effect thing when I was seeing this. Because, Mickey mentions that, hang on, I know a guy who hustles dinosaur bones or some shit. Let me call him up to see if we can fence this painting. And I stopped and I was like, did Ben make a joke? I thought a joke went over my head. But I know, but I thought this was a reference. I thought this was a reference to Jurassic Park 3 that William H. Macy was in. And I went back and I looked.
It might be.
I looked it up on Wikipedia to see if like there was a thing about him selling fake dinosaur bones, because that sounded maybe familiar, but there was no mention of it on the Wikipedia article. And I'm not going to pay $3.99 to watch Jurassic Park 3 on Prime Video. So I don't know. Listeners in the Discord, if any of you have seen Jurassic Park 3 recently, let us know if there was a dinosaur bones subplot somewhere.
Not in
I actually
Jurassic Park
started
3.
rewatching it last week.
That said,
because we had made the joke about it, and I had actually started rewatching Jurassic Park 3. So no dinosaur bone theft yet.
but you know who did steal dinosaur bones, although accidentally? Nicolas Cage.
Ooh. Yes.
He had a T-Rex skull that had been stolen from Mongolia, and he had to return it.
Oh, I remember seeing something about that in the news or something, wasn't it?
Were any of you guys surprised Mickey is still a going concern?
Very. I was hoping he was gone because he's horrible.
He
has some funny moments in this episode, but overall,
he seems
Mickey's
to have
the worst.
softened a bit, but he's still not great.
Yeah.
So Beth is watching Shameless right now, and she's like, "You've missed so much. You've missed this giant arc with Mickey, like the Mickey redemption arc or something." And I'm all like, I can't know about it until we're done. Mm-hmm. But she's insisting that we're going to rewatch the whole show right now. So. Anyways, they don't have a good answer on what to do with Nighthawk here. Carl's going to scope it out at work. Liam is going to babysit Frank. Ian and Mickey are handling the alibi for Kevin V when they're out of town. And Lip is watching the painting, contractors, and his son. So in one scene, we basically get where all of the pieces are going to be moving for the entire episode.
Did we?
Yeah.
We mentioned that Frank has advanced dementia, right?
Yeah.
That becomes clear in a scene or two. Yeah.
Yeah.
V's mom is trying to get them to move down to Louisville.
Is it Louisville? I was curious where they are. I wrote down
because he wants to go to the
notes.
Louisville Slugger factory.
Oh, of course. Yeah. God, I'm so dumb. I can't believe I missed that. Yeah.
No, you just didn't write it down, Vic. You're not dumb.
and Kevin
yeah,
wants
so
to
they're
get
in
himself
Louisville.
a bat.
And Kevin also wants to see a Waffle House.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
He's got some things he wants to do, but he gets a completely unreasonable shopping list from V's mom.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
not the most unreasonable thing she's asked.
Fair.
Kevin is used to delivering loads to Carol.
That is the best pun you have delivered yet. I tip my
Where
hat
are
to
those
you, sir.
kids, by the way?
We do
yeah.
not see them.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot like Breaking Bad in this show, to where the baby is just there whenever it's convenient.
Yeah.
I do have one question for you guys. Having watched this at an abbreviated pace, I think allows us to get a much better understanding of if characters get, if you're familiar with the term, Flanderized, like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons.
Flanderized.
There's a whole TV tropes where it's just like characters as a sitcom goes or a show go on become more distilled down into their common trope. So like one of the things people say is like on Friends, as the show got on, Joey went from being kind of a dumb guy to like a how is he able to take care of himself dumb guy.
So the opposite of character development.
Yeah, it is character reduction to like, especially if you have the weird side characters where they just like, hey, the neighbor just comes in, says their catchphrase, and wanders away. And it's like, there is no character there. Has Kevin gotten dumber?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay, because it really felt like he's dumber than he used to be.
Yeah, come to think of it, in the very first episode we saw, I didn't like Kevin at all. I thought he was just a dick. So yeah, I didn't like him at first, but then as the show progressed and he became more of a two-legged labradoodle, I kind of like him. He's kind of adorable.
I just remember in our second episode being like, Kevin is the only person here who I would trust to watch a kid. I don't know if I'd trust season 11 Kevin to watch a kid.
Okay, so here's a question: if Ben, as a parent,
As a father.
yes, if you needed to get a babysitter for you had a last minute, I don't know, business trip or something, and the only babysitters available in the entire state of Detroit or whatever, you know what I mean, are the cast of this show, which one do you pick to watch this?
Well, you know me, Victor. I'm going to let the coin decide. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to leave it up to fate. No. If it's just the cast of this show, is it main cast?
Reoccurring characters, yeah. So, like, Mickey and
Title
Steve
credits.
included.
Not Mickey.
Yeah.
Because it's like, can I pick the awesome caseworker from a few episodes ago? Okay, if it's just our major characters, Liam. I know that's like having your horse watch your dog, but he actually
horses
seems
can
very
watch dogs.
dutiful.
Yeah, he's the only one who's got his shit together in the entire household.
Because I'm like, okay, at least
Tammy.
Franny always seems to be okay after Deb is, watching her, but also like, I'm not trusting a kid with Deb.
Yeah.
Which has also been one of the sad things, just watching the downfall of Deb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But anyway,
Carl's partner's Josh Molina. That's cool.
where's he from? Whoa.
Josh Molina?
Yeah.
All kinds of shit.
Yeah?
West Wing.
Oh.
Off the top of my head.
Is he related to Alfred Molina?
No idea.
Okay. Yeah, so Carl is now a
Frank?
full-blown cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than beating up kids, Carl.
Yeah. They're hanging out at police headquarters talking about the Nighthawk heist and how most of the cop staff are working on that. And Carl's just like, so theoretically, if someone were to get caught with that painting, well, what happened to them? And his partner replies, not subtly at all, well, depends on if he's black or white or rich or poor. Yeah, the subtlety about police corruption in this episode is not subtle in the least.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chicago PD are not Michael Jackson. It really matters if you're black or white.
Man, that was such a banger when I was a kid. I remember that was the coolest thing ever.
Frank catches his reflection while walking with Liam and thinks that it's his dad. Man, this hit me real hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've talked about it here. I know I've talked about it on Who Are You, but my dad had a lot of mental issues the last decade of his life.
Sorry, man.
And this, like, seeing this reminded me of a very specific instance of my life where I got a phone call and was told that my dad was found in the hospital parking lot. He had an appointment and didn't make it to his car.
Oh, no.
And woke up thinking that it was 1993.
Holy shit. Wow.
This would have been in 2017, 2018.
No shit.
And so I had like jumped in my car, drove to the hospital, and was mentally preparing to be all like, well, the good news is the Red Wings won a bunch of Stanley Cups. The bad news is I'm your son who you thought was under 10, to not just dox myself immediately. Your parents are dead. All of your friends are dead. Here's what's going on in your life. So he'd gotten his memory back about 15 minutes before I arrived.
Oh,
So
well.
didn't have to deal with it.
That's
but,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, similar
was
thing
the day.
happened with my stepdad. Around that same time, I got a phone call saying he was wandering around a grocery store and it was incoherent. And I was living in Fort Worth at the time, and this was down in Lockhart, so that's like 6 hours away. I'm like, fuck do you want me to do about this? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's rough. But he'd been, he smoked 2 packs a day and drank like a case a day his entire life. So apparently he knew. Anyway, carrying on.
He was really franking it up.
Takes a toll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking
So-
of Frank, he references COVID.
Yeah.
And man,
Speak some China-phobia to his son Liam there. Just drink.
I had to check when this show ended, because when season 11 aired was 2021. So this show ended much more recently than I thought it did.
Yeah.
And also, it's been 4 years since the pandemic started.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof.
Back at the house,
Tammy?
Tammy shows up with the baby. They're trying to get the house ready to sell. And we also find out part of the reason why they're trying to sell the house is Lip needs a new job. So I'm going to say
yes.
last time on, with the pandemic, the repair shop closed.
Yeah.
It got sold. They tell us what happened.
Well, yeah, but that's why we
Yeah,
can't keep
yeah.
running it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the pandemic.
Yeah, it got
that's
sold to a CrossFit studio. Yeah, there's a whole theme of gentrification and the Chicago South Side throughout this entire episode.
fair. Kevin fucks up when talking to a man in a hamburger outfit, thus lending credence to your Flanderization theory, Ben. I do think Kevin has gotten stupider. This doesn't feel like a season 1 through 3 Kevin kind of mistake.
Oh, you got the job
Yeah.
because you're brown. I guess that's not racism then. Do-do-do-do-do.
Oh my god! I want to screenshot the shot of Hamburger Man staring Kevin down. Like, really, you just fucking said that.
Deb starts to go looking for an apartment and reconsiders her no roommates rule as All By Myself plays in the background.
Yeah, this was too on the nose for me. This wasn't
Yeah.
subtle. This was just like, hey, we're trying to do this as a as the punchline of a gag, and I'm just like, this is. You would have gotten the point completely across just having her look around and be sad. But this
Yeah.
does also make me think, just a few seasons ago, she was being really nasty to her roommates, trying to get them to move out so she could have her own apartment. And now she doesn't want to have her own apartment. And I get things change, but it's also
I'm
just
gonna
like,
say last time on that actually happened, and the first night in this new empty apartment was she realized it was the first time in her entire life she slept in a house by herself because she grew up, with all the Gallaghers, and it was just unbearable for her. It was too quiet, and after that she decided she never wanted to be alone again because that's what she was used to, growing up her entire life. So. Which is weird because I guess I'm thinking, I was thinking about like, wow, we are totally opposite, Deb, because I did kind of go through a phase to where I had to have people around me all the time. But I grew out of that and I fucking hate that shit now, man. I want my solitude, my privacy.
I go crazy. I need to be around people.
I'd rather be around cats and dogs.
I mean, dogs
Company
are
for
great.
me, yeah. Anyway, so Ian and
Nothing against cats, listener. I'm just allergic.
Oh no, there can be against cats. Cats are monsters.
Well, I understand if people don't.
They'd
like
kill
cats.
every one of us if they
They're
could.
assholes. But but if someone doesn't like dogs, I raise an eyebrow at them. But anyway, Ian is making screwdrivers at the Alibi with Sunny D.
Frank steals a van with intent to kidnap.
Yeah.
Frank steals a mail truck.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
Liam
Amazon delivery van.
Liam just wants to talk to a kid because whoever scores the highest in his class automatically gets into the nice middle school. And he knows there's this kid, Wen, who he's well off enough.
Now,
What?
you asked when. Now,
What?
you said
who?
You said where?
Yeah, there we go.
I tried to
disappointed in you
vaudeville you,
both.
and you vaudevilled me right. Miss. We are committing
Play
some-
some ragtime piano behind me.
We are committing some Xhafer war crimes over here with our vaudeville. Throwback to last season, listeners. Anyway, sorry.
But he wants him to purposefully not do as well as he can on this final test so that Liam will be number one, get into the good school. And then because Wen is able to, have his resources and connections, he'll get in too. But Liam wouldn't without this. And so he's just trying to convince him. And Frank is just like instantly leaning into strong arm the kid.
As Liam and Frank, as Liam is fresh take, and as Liam is explaining this to Frank, Frank is just casually checking the door handles of all the parked cars, just like out of muscle memory. He's trying to steal a car,
Yeah.
like in a fugue state. Just and then he finds the fucking mail truck, and he's like, "All right, Liam, get in."
V hangs out with her cousin, aunt, and mom poolside as they all jump in and encourage her to move down. Lip has to cover for Nighthawk being downstairs. I
Yeah.
love this scene. Like, oh, that's a great replica you got there. Did you hear it was stolen?
Lip was not smart at all here. This was just
No.
painfully stupid. I
He
mean,
knew he had a furnace guy coming.
Just put it upstairs.
Yeah. Lip was very much reminded me of his character on The Bear. I just finished binge watching yesterday.
Yeah.
No,
What'd you
no
think?
spoilers. But, he's the same guy. I mean, he his demeanor, everything. He's exactly the same as he is in Shameless, except he's kind of asexual in The Bear. That's the only difference between his characters.
I would say he's not as aggressively horny in The Bear.
Yeah. That's about it. But he's still a hot mess, but still manages to stay somewhat functional.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch all of it? Did you see season 2?
Whole thing? Yeah.
Okay.
Got to the finale. I have thoughts on that as well.
Well,
we'll get
now
season
we can't do
3
it for the
drops
show.
in like 2 weeks. So
well, of course we can't do it.
yeah,
Well, I was going to cut him out.
Can't cut me out.
It was going to take you with me, Vic.
Can't cut me out. Can't insult me with words I don't know. Buffoonery.
That's a great word.
Bursts. Now, Lip also gets a job offer in this moment
Yes.
that he then just leaves on, like, he puts the guy on hold to go and be like, oops, I left a priceless artifact downstairs with the furnace man. Instead of just saying, yeah, sure, I'll take the job. But also, $15 an hour for a motorcycle mechanic
Yeah.
seems stupid low.
And he asked,
Yeah.
does it come with benefits? To which the
No.
reply was, no, but we have a pizza party every 2 weeks. Fuck, that made me angry.
So, like,
Yeah.
he would be making $30,000 a year. 3120 or 31,200, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
for backbreaking fucking labor. I mean, yeah, no, that is hard labor working on a motorcycle. I mean, because you got to crouch, you got to get all under weird places, blah.
And this is $2021, so it's not even like you've been done any favors by inflation. That's just an unlivable wage.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to ask you guys, what do you think about the when the plumber finds the painting? I think this guy totally knows. He knows it's real, and he's like, "Oh fuck," and he's just trying to play it cool. So Lip doesn't he's trying to think of like, oh shit, I'm in a bind here, and he's trying to play.
Yeah.
And
He does offer to buy it for $100.
Yeah. Because he's calling in a tip to see if there's a reward on this as soon as he gets done with.
Except he doesn't. So I think he's being genuine. I think he's like, hey, that's cool. You're clearly selling the house. Can I get the painting?
Speaking of selling the house, Ian and Mickey find an apartment on the west side. Yeah, they're south side boys.
I will say, though, this is the saddest episode of Apartment Hunters International I've ever seen, where it's like, he has an ambulance. He is some sort of unknown criminal activities person. Like, their budget is $75 million. Like, if you've ever watched House Hunters, it's just like
the exact value of the painting Nighthawk.
well, it's just like how they do not have the jobs. Like, how can they afford this? What is Mickey's job?
Yeah.
Mickey. No.
How does Mickey
still living a life?
What happens when you pull Mickey's credit report?
Yeah. Now, during this scene, the two barflies that we get at the alibi, one of them brings up a very good... Is a tomato garden because tomatoes grow on vines? So
Yes. Yeah.
Do they? Is there tomato wine? Has anyone ever tried to make wine with tomatoes? Listeners in the Discord, let us know. Have you ever had a tomato wine?
I promise I know someone who's tried to make tomato wine.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I do like Clamato, so maybe that would work out. So.
I mean, I myself have made both potato wine and orange wine.
I thought potato.
No. Distilled potato wine is vodka.
Ah, okay. Brewmaster Xhafer.
To be fair, Xhafer's potato wine is infamous in how horrible it was.
Oh, really?
It was quite bad.
Similar, my uncle once made a batch of dandelion wine that everybody who had it agreed is the worst thing they've ever tasted.
I bet it sounds like it tasted like pesticide. Did it taste like pesticide? Because that's.
I mean, dandelion, like you can eat dandelions, wash them off, but like dandelion greens, you can absolutely eat. You can make dandelion wine. He just screwed it up.
Yeah, I have a bottle of dandelion wine sitting on my countertop right now.
Oh wow!
From my neighbors. I need to bust into that. Give it a go.
Nice.
Maybe for the finale next week.
Next week. Carl and the Popo are pulled up and breaking up a protest.
Yeah. Kevin stumbles into a job. Just like trips and falls face first into a job.
Yeah, he has the chattiest assistant manager ever who's just like, yeah, and here's everything you would possibly ever need to know to want to take a job here. Like, you could easily make more in a lunch rush than you would back home.
Yep.
The writing in this episode is very heavy-handed.
It's bad.
It's not subtle in the least. It's like they just took the storyboard and were like, fuck it, just put this into the script.
We got it, guys.
Yeah.
Well, part of me wonders, is this because of the pandemic and they couldn't do a writer's room? And so somebody's just not getting to bounce anything off anybody? Or is it, as we often see with legacy TV shows, once you hit a certain point, a lot of people who were the creatives have leveraged, hey, I was writing for a successful TV show. Are you okay, Xhafer?
I'm fine.
Okay, you were making a face
are
and
you
you've got
sticking
a
in your
thing
ear?
hanging out of your ear.
I'm
What
fine,
are you
guys.
are you hitting your reset button, you fucking cyborg? What the hell? Jesus
is-
Christ, is that earwax? Oh wait, no, that's
No, that's a little suction tip. This resets your inner ear.
you are a cyborg. That explains so much. Xhafer, you fucking replicant.
That'd be a bummer.
Where was it? Okay, what were you talking about, Ben?
I'm trying to remember. So the writers, like some of the lead writers, will have gone. Now they've got another project. You bring in somebody else, but after a certain number of seasons, shows always they never get more popular. Once you hit near the end, you trail off. And so the producers usually try to start throttling back on the cost of the show. That's why you often have, okay, we have more bottle episodes, we stay in the same locations. And we're not bringing in, we're not poaching A-list writing talent. It's, hey, bring in some new people. The characters are already established. You're not reinventing anything. Just watch a few episodes and write a Kevin.
Yeah.
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 So
I remember what I was going to say now. I was going to say that I feel like a lot of people blame shit on the pandemic, that it's just like a go-to thing. Because on another podcast I was listening to recently, the hosts were talking about that just graduated from college with a video games degree, and it was right in the middle of the pandemic. And the video game industry took a huge hit during the pandemic. And I'm like, back the fuck up. Hold on. How did the video games industry take a hit during the pandemic? Everyone was at home playing video games on quarantine. So how the fuck? That just irritated me. I want to know more about that. Not to derail the discussion too much, but listeners in the Discord, did you work in the video game industry, and how was 2020 for you? Because to me, it should be the opposite. It should have been booming. But anyway.
Well, there's a big difference between video game publishing and video game development. And one of those did really well during the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say,
publishing.
I mean,
Developing,
programmers
usually
don't
you
need to
need
come
a
into work.
giant
You do
room
all
full
your
of
shit.
people coding, and that's hard to do under quarantine conditions.
It's easy to do. All your work is on a computer, so just do it at home. So,
No, it's a lot. When you're coding something that large, it's a very collaborative effort. But also, like, the thing about video game design is it's like 75% art, and you need everyone to be on the same page on your art style, and it needs to be cohesive for the giant piece of art to look like one piece of art instead of being done by 150 artists like most AAA video games are.
I hate to say it, but I can understand what you're saying. Fuck.
Yeah.
You don't want to come in and find like a giant Legend of Zelda Wind Waker cell shaded bad guy come rushing at you, and you're just like, this is a super like
I'm playing Horizon.
yeah.
Yeah. Like on paper, it should work one way, but in reality, it works a different way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's starting to make sense now. I'm still angry about it, but okay.
That's fair. Debbie talks with a homeless single mom at the playground.
Well, we get some White Castle product placement.
Yeah. Frank, full on mementos, has to start writing stuff on his body to remember it. His dementia is so bad. The gas pipes are fucked up at the house, and it's going to be a couple grand for Lip to fix it.
Also, another plot point lifted straight from the bear, or the bear lifted a plot point straight from this. Saying, it's like, well, the gas is fucked. We can't fix it till the electric comes in. And the electric is fucked, so we can't fix it till the plumber comes in. So.
Yep. But all the while, Kev is just fucking nailing it bartending.
Oh, yeah. He is working the ladies at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, these nurses sitting at the bar that he made some Oreo cookie mojitos for, man, they are just in love with this big dumb labradoodle.
Mm-hmm. The trick is filling the drink with Oreos so that you don't have to use any alcohol.
Oh, man. Now, Kevin did say that this drink won Best Cocktail in Vegas. And we all know Kevin is kind of too dumb to lie, so I have to ask you, Ben, what happened on her?
What the hell happened?
Can't explain. But I got the van.
So, I think at one point we had a Vegas episode.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin got into representing the south side of Chicago at the national bartender competition. And they had a whole bunch of different things to compete in. And it was one of those things where it was, who can pour the best beer? And Kevin's just like, I can pour a beer. And it's like, but you need to have a head of exactly 1.25 centimeters. It's like, why? And so he doesn't do that. And then it's like, okay, quick mixing. And he's just like, I don't need to do that. And he's watching all of like these crazy mixologists like, shaking them around and like pouring 7 drinks at a time. And he's just like, whiskey neat, scotch neat, vodka cran. And so it looks like Kevin's just going to be embarrassed by all of this. And in the background, Frank's stealing shit. But then it gets to craft a signature cocktail, and Kevin's actually like being like grumpy and dismissive, but in a way that's just like, man, you guys don't even know what a real drink is. This is what you guys want. You want, like, I don't know, creme de menthe and, like, this stuff. And you know what? Screw you guys. I'll just mash a bunch of Oreos into it. This is what you guys want. You don't even want real alcohol. This isn't what people drink. You want this bullshit. And then they drink it and they're like, this is delicious. Kevin wins. And he walks away with a gold medal from the bartending competition just on accident.
100%.
Nicely done.
Exactly
Love
what
it.
happens. The protest continues as Carl arrests an asshole landlord.
Yeah, I loved this.
This was very nice to watch. Yeah.
But here
The
we
first
get,
part,
like,
anyway.
a little, like, the writing is too on the nose,
Mm-hmm.
where Arthur, Carl's partner, is just like, we don't arrest people who drive Mercedes. Now let's go get back to roughing up these nuns.
Frank fucks up everything again for Liam when confronting Wen.
Who?
Wen.
Where?
In front of the bodega? I don't think it's technically a bodega, but yeah.
And he
I was
accidentally knocks...
vaudevilling.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
God damn it.
He accidentally knocks Liam down, and that kind of shakes him out of his, like, hey, I'm willing to completely rough up a middle schooler.
Yeah. V also stumbles into a job as a campaign manager for congressional campaign.
Because she lies about knowing the Obamas.
I
think she lied. I
don't
think-
know that that's a lie.
Yeah. It sounded like she just, that her mom's friend just assumed that she was from Chicago, so she knows the Obamas.
And she didn't dissuade her of that.
I don't know that that's a lie.
Yeah,
It's a
okay.
lie.
Look, there's a difference. Like, she doesn't say that it's like, oh, yeah, me and Barry hanging out. Like, I got Michelle on speed dial. Not what she says. You know, it is like she name drops like a fourth Obama cousin or something. Like a connection
fair.
to the family that is distant enough where I was like, oh, yeah, they might technically be in Obama. Like that kid that Carl roughed up last episode.
Mickey tries out the pool at the apartment that him and Ian are checking out,
Yeah.
and I just want to know who the hell is going to let Ian and Mickey scope out an apartment on the west side unsupervised.
Did you catch that Mickey has Ian's name tattooed over his heart?
Misspelled.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Ian's.
How is it spelled? I missed this.
It's Gallagher, but I forgot it, but it's very obviously misspelled.
Yeah.
It's Gallagher,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
horrible
Gallagher.
quality too.
Yeah. It's like freehand. It's not good freehand.
Yeah,
Ian
I'll bet-
wants to move into this place. He's like, this is nice. It's cheap. And Mickey's like, but I'd have to stop doing crime. I don't know any fences. Where are the safe houses?
And okay, did you notice this apartment they're looking at has a light switch operated fireplace?
Yeah. That's just gas.
Don't act like that's normal. Come on.
Not in
Oh,
Texas.
I'm sorry.
maybe.
I'm sorry. I can't hear poor.
No. Gas fireplaces in the north because it gets fucking cold up here, Vic.
I'm not talking about gas fireplace. I'm talking about with a fucking light switch that you turn it on and off.
Yeah. It's like 65 out right now here.
No, guys, it's not. The point is the light switch. I've never seen a fireplace that you can turn off and off with a switch.
Yeah, it's electric. Yeah.
It's electric.
Stop acting like this is normal. I'm exploding over here.
I know like a dozen people with these.
Mine doesn't have one, but
God, I'm trash.
You have that's because yours is a actual
Gas
one as opposed to a gas electrical hybrid or a just electrical fireplace. Both of which are things.
I really need to move into a better house. Anyway,
Let's see here.
we meet my favorite episode or character this episode right now because Deb has figured out, hey, don't look at apartments, look at places that have rooms for rent. And there is this wonderful woman, Beatrice, who's like, yeah, we've got a room for rent. Hey, I hope you don't mind. There's kids running around over. There's cousin so-and-so. And, you know, my kid's running around. Hey, don't worry. You'll be renting the room above the garage, so you'll never have to see us. And Deb is like, or I could be family. And they're like, no, Deb, that's weird. But I could live in this room with your 4 kids. No, Deb, that's weird.
Deb just invites herself on a tour of the kids' bedroom that has 2 sets of bunk beds in it. And she's like, oh, this is perfect. Me and Franny can sleep on the floor.
Yeah. Shortly
Poor
after,
Deb.
Mickey has his own struggles with the West Side and gentrification and was a $6 beer or something?
Oh, yeah, we have to talk
4.
about this. Yeah, Mickey is having trouble adjusting to the spending 20 minutes on the rich side of town. Mickey struggles to buy beer in the suburbs.
Also, this could just be for comedic effect, but do you guys think Mickey knows his left and his right?
No.
Hey, man, I get it confused sometimes.
Because Mickey gets hit by a duo of joggers who are just like, on your left. He's like, what? Bam!
My left or your left? I don't know.
We're facing the same way.
I loved Mickey trying to adjust to the suburbs.
Lip sells his pet project bike for $9,000.
Yeah, that was
which
sad.
is a big loss in his time, but not an overall loss for him. Well,
we get over to Frank rolling a joint.
Yeah, he has a lucid moment with Liam that is just fucking depressing.
He also is just like, hey, did you hear? Somebody stole a van. Like, there's cops everywhere.
Yeah, and Liam just looks exhausted from taking care of an adult all day.
Yep.
Poor guy.
He says, I don't know how to take care of you.
Oh, that was
And
hard
I'm
to
just
watch. Yeah.
heartbroken. And then Frank says, like, this is too much for you. You're 9. And Liam's like, I'm 11.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
Ouch.
And this, like, I'm sure Xhafer can connect to this, like, anybody who's lost somebody where they were in real mental decline at the end. Like, this just kills me.
Yep. This
That was really sad.
Kev gets a huge payday for his bartending save.
The assistant manager just keeps giving him more money and
Yeah.
more money. And just like,
please take
hey,
a
you know
chop
what? Here's some extra money. You know what? Just so cute. Here's a little extra money.
It tells him that if you need a job, we've got a position for you here at Fry's, spelled FRY-YAYS. What the hell is the fuck kind of a name is that?
I think it was supposed to be a joke on like your TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fridays. I would eat at a place named Fridays exactly once.
I mean, the burger didn't look bad.
No.
That did look like a good burger. Yeah.
Franny's
It's probably about $3 too expensive, but
I'm sure. Franny's cleaning glasses as Deb runs the alibi, and Mickey and Ian have the worst communication of any married couple in fiction that I can think of at the moment. I signed the lease for us. Excuse me?
Yeah. And,
You seem to really not want to do this, so I just did it for us.
yeah. While they're riding around in the ambulance. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Just driving an ambulance around town.
we also
Okay.
get a funny bit where Ian waxes poetical about the fact that the west side is actually south of the south side. It's just across the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago makes no sense. Oh, yeah, and apologies to our Chicagoan in the Discord who who recently was like, am I listening to the wrong podcast? I'm from Chicago. I like Chicago.
We're shitting on fake Chicago, not real
Yeah.
Chicago. I mean, I will take a dump on real Chicago occasionally, but
I went to Chicago for my honeymoon.
yeah, I just don't want their pizza, really. The listener in the Discord did call out Chicago Italian beef, which is in fact legit. You get
I
that.
do love deep dish pizza, so hey. Yeah.
But we know that this is fake Chicago because I don't know if anyone else clocked this, but all the police department uniforms that they're wearing only have 3 stars on the flag, not 4.
Oh,
So it's not the
okay.
actual flag of Chicago on their patches. Why?
Interesting.
We've seen the actual Chicago flag in the show in other places.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's a continuity error, though. Like, it seems like it's a pretty big miss to order a ton of 3-star Chicago flag bat. Like, you'd have to special order those. It seems like it'd be easier to just get a Chicago flag patch. I don't know.
I think because we know this season was filmed during the pandemic. I think they were working on tight budget constraints, so they ordered some cheap knockoffs from China, and they arrived with only 3 stars, and they were like, "Fuck it, we got deadlines. Put on the uniforms, guys."
I wonder how much of it is I just hate CM Punk so much that I hate Chicago.
That factors in 100% for me. Like, being real about it.
This Carl scene like got beyond parody to me.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, okay, this is trying to be funny and prove a point where like their sergeant shows up and is like, "What? Didn't you tell him we don't arrest people who drive Mercedes?" And the guy's like, "I know the mayor, and I'm coming for you." And
Says our
Arthur's
job is not to enforce the law with rich people.
yeah.
Fuck, dude. That was
And then Arthur's
the
like,
literal
"Hey,
line.
man, don't worry about it. You gotta like get 12 excessive force things before they even open an investigation into you."
Right. Mickey and
brutally
Lip.
unsubtle.
Yeah, it was too much. Mickey and Lip go to fisticuffs as Deb watches, missing the drama before it's gone.
Yeah.
As Kevin V decided to move down south.
We skipped over Frank buying some heroin.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happened. Frank bought some heroin.
Yeah. Lip and Ian talk until they realize Nighthawk is missing.
Oh, yeah, we got a priceless fucking stolen painting sitting in our basement. What are we going to do about that?
They find Franny as covered it in stickers.
I was assuming at some point Mickey's going to poach something. Like, when are they going to run into the Department of Natural Resources? And that's when I find out, no, you guys were right. It is the other kind of DNR.
Yeah.
Frank takes Liam to a tattooist and gets "do not resuscitate" tattooed across his chest.
Yep.
Yeah, which I got to say is probably the most selfless act we have seen Frank do on this show.
And we get a mid-credits scene with Nighthawk on the subway covered in stickers.
I didn't catch
Fortunately-
that my first watch through, but yeah, I watched it again.
Fortunately, with what I know about paintings, there's usually like a couple of layers of varnish over the top. You can get the stickers off.
Yeah.
The painting is going to be okay.
I got to say, I got to go back and get a screen cap of when Lip and Ian find Franny in the bedroom putting little stickers all over the painting. Just the look on fucking Ian's face, dude. It's just holy fuck. I'm gonna screen cap it and drop it in the Discord because it's very meme worthy.
This is just making me think, though, of my favorite edit of that picture where it's instead of Nighthawks, it's Quarks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few edits of this one. I've seen the Simpsons.
Yep. I got one that is
Yeah.
exactly the same, but it has the TARDIS in the background.
Ah, nice.
I've got one that's a crack and like spider webbing in the glass, and there's a one of those white plastic deck chairs that's like clearly been thrown against the window.
Oh, nice.
And it's an anteater. I don't know if you guys know anteaters when they're threatened will like stand up, put their arms
Yeah.
out to the side.
Yeah.
And it just says, "Oi, mom then."
There was my favorite ramen spot here in Fort Worth has a painting of I forget what it's called, but it's that famous Japanese painting with the tidal waves.
The Great Wave.
Yeah, they got that, but it's got Godzilla in the background.
Yeah.
It's my favorite fake painting I've seen. Hold on.
We haven't talked to Godzilla -1 yet.
Oh, we're talking about it later. Oh,
Yeah,
'cause, oh God, that's such a great movie.
Okay, I'm glad you really liked it. But before we
fucking
talk about that, I don't have to roll the dice to know.
Roll them anyway. Come on.
Sure.
Rolling bones.
I'll roll those bones just for fun.
rolling.
Do we skip back around to the start?
Yeah. Watch them roll a 3, and that would be.
They see me rolling.
I'm rolling 4 dice, so that is actually impossible. But let's see. That
Not with that
is
attitude.
a 14.
But you missed. Well, you weren't looking. I added a Godzilla -1 die.
So, ooh.
That's why they're all in black and white now. Anyways, season 11, episode 12. Father Frank, full of grace. The family gathers to celebrate Ian and Mickey's first anniversary. Frank faces his mortality.
Oh, wow. That's the episode description?
That's the episode description. Do we got our predictions locked in?
We do.
I do.
All right. I'll go first.
Lincoln, what are you doing up there?
Guessing? I guess no one's coming.
I have seen into the future.
You ruined the prophecy.
I had a really tough time with this one because historically, the penultimate episode of the show, I make 3 character death predictions. And I don't feel like any of these characters are going to die, except for Frank, who I think it is blatantly obvious when he gets his Do Not Resuscitate tattoo that he is going to die during this show. And so my daytime prediction is Frank dies. I feel like that's appropriate to put at the +1 prediction. It's pretty obvious it's going to happen. Now, I had to get a little creative because I don't think any of our other characters are going to die in this episode. I think the rest of the family that we still have with us is going to make it. So for my evening prediction, Debbie's fear of homelessness dies as she takes over the alibi and moves in.
Debbie takes over the alibi.
Debbie takes
Interesting.
over the alibi was my prediction, yes.
Yeah.
We know Kev and V are going to be moving down. Hypothetically, they will be selling the alibi. I think Debbie's homelessness problem and her loneliness problem will both be resolved in a single blow. And we saw Franny like cleaning glasses and stuff. I think she could do a good job with it. So that's my
Nice
evening
catch,
prediction. Now, my primetime prediction, I've got a little bit of a slash on. So my primetime prediction is Fiona dies / died. She is like fucking ghosted. Like we have not seen her in
She wasn't
2
even
episodes.
mentioned this episode.
She's not even mentioned, right?
Yeah, they
She was
photoshopped
mentioned
her out of
Last
the
episode,
intro.
but not this one. Yeah.
Yeah, they said her name once last episode. I think that she had died in the plot and it was fucking tragic or something. Like it is something that is so heartbreaking that they can't bring it up. And that's why we just don't see her at all anymore.
You know, that would be interesting because that would put you and Ben at odds because I was going over all our previous predictions earlier today. And one of Ben's predictions was Fiona turns her life around. So
Yeah.
I feel like that, that's what it is. Because if Fiona died, I think it most likely would be due to alcohol poisoning or something.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, what? It'll be
I'm
interesting
willing to
see
put
how
a
this plays
bonus
out.
point on this.
Yeah.
I'm not very confident in this, but I am willing to bet that Fiona committed suicide as a bonus point.
Ooh. Ouch. Okay.
This is based off of the suicide warning that is at the top of every episode of Shameless.
Yeah.
We haven't seen one, so I'm kind of leaning into that. But also, I think she hits rock bottom. She sees what she's doing to her family, and she literally can't live with the prospect of becoming her father.
Yeah.
I think it's super fucking dark. I think it's super fucking traumatic. I hope it doesn't happen because it'd be fucking... I'd cry. I'd just fucking bawl at that scene. But if I had to put a bonus point on it, that would be my bonus point.
Yeah, we haven't had many bonus points this season.
All right, Vic.
All right. Okay, so my morning prediction is that Debbie gets over her fear of living alone and finds a place and ends up living alone with Franny. For my evening prediction was also Frank dies, but there's a caveat to this because I think it's pretty obvious Frank's going to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Frank gets memorialized at the Alibi with, I want to say he gets a statue, but I will settle for a painting.
Is there a single statue of me on Bejor?
Primetime prediction. The series ends as it began with everyone singing around a bonfire.
A bonfire or a car fire?
Either way. Yep, I swear on my donut.
I trust y'all.
I swear on Spam.
You never told me you had a Spam. Show me who's Spam. What is that?
Spam is my D&D. So in D&D, there is a thing called a giant space hamster.
Yeah.
It is I think 8-foot tall hamster that has been bred as a
Like
pack animal.
Yeah.
In the Spelljammer space D&D universe.
I played a Spelljammer game once. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So the space gnomes have giant space hamsters, and there's a reoccurring joke that some space gnomes say that they have reverse engineered their giant space hamsters down to regular hamster size, and so this is is it a miniature giant space hamster or is it just a hamster?
Oh my god.
Because we don't want just a hamster. We want a miniature giant space hamster. Like they get real worked up about that.
Bro, we're going to talk Spelljammer later because that's awesome. That's a very niche level of nerddom.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So, guys, my daytime prediction. Deb moves into Kevin and V's house. She's just like, hey, I don't want to totally lose the vibe. Flip, you sold our house. I'm moving in next door. My evening prediction, the Gallaghers take over the Alibi. And then my primetime prediction, and we're all in accord on this, but because it's a primetime, I put a twist on it to go for those extra points. Frank dies in his bar stool.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
You know, I like that we're all in agreement that the Alibi is a big, major part of the show. That something's going to happen at the Alibi. Has to.
Yeah.
Has to.
All right. Well, that's that. All we've got left.
That did it?
Well, that's that.
Blip.
I'm there, Vic. Just let me have it.
When?
Now. Well, that's that. All we have left to do is say some thank yous. Hey, Ripe. Thank you for letting us use the song Good Squad. We appreciate the hell out of it. I don't have words for the joy I feel when my podcast accidentally plays on my podcatcher because Lord knows I'm not listening to it on purpose, but I hear Goon Squad for 30 seconds and it always makes me smile. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for agreeing to let us use that song. It's one of our favorites.
And if you really like their album Bright Blues, they've also released a couple of acoustic versions of some of their songs, and they're awesome.
And they're touring right now. Go see them live.
And thank you to you, the listener, especially if you've managed to make it this far throughout this entire season. If you like our podcast, please leave us a review on Facebook or iTunes, and we will give you a shout out here on the show. And if you don't like our podcast, well, just keep that shit to yourself.
And feel free to join us on the Last Time On Listener Lounge. Password to enter in is Wahapaher. And also, if you would like, please join us on the Discord for What Happened Here Productions. Lots of really fun conversations going on over there. It's absolutely wonderful people. I love being part of that community.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time on Last Time On.